Smoke curled into the morning sky above Maria Delgado's modest blue house on Birchwood Lane. She smelled the acrid scent of burning wood before she even opened her front door. Her heart pounded violently as she rushed outside, still wearing her faded pajamas. Flames licked along the wooden fence separating her yard from the neighborhood common area. Maria screamed for help while grabbing the garden hose with trembling, desperate hands. Her elderly father shuffled outside, coughing from the thick smoke filling the morning air. Neighbors began stepping onto their porches, drawn by the crackling sound of fire. Maria sprayed water frantically, watching the flames hiss and shrink beneath her effort. Her hands shook uncontrollably as adrenaline and fear coursed through her exhausted body. Once the fire died, she stared at the blackened fence in stunned silence. This was not the first time trouble had found her family on this street. 6 months earlier, Maria and her father had moved here seeking a peaceful new beginning. Her father had dreamed of quiet mornings and friendly neighbors. Instead, by relentless hostility from the homeowners association. Karen Whitfield had targeted them from their very first week. She complained about their mailbox color, their grass height. Karen sent notice after notice, each one dripping with thinly veiled disdain and suspicion. Maria suspected the harassment was rooted in something deeper than simple rule enforcement. Karen rarely smiled at them, yet smiled warmly toward every other family nearby. Tom Reyes had warned them about Karen's reputation early. He said Karen ruled the HOA like a tiny, merciless kingdom of her own. Many families had quietly sold their homes rather than endure her constant scrutiny. Maria had tried reasoning with Karen, hoping civility might soften her hardened stance. Every attempt ended with Karen citing some obscure bylaw nobody else seemed to follow. Now, fence. Maria felt true fear settle into her chest. This was no longer about petty rules or passive-aggressive notices taped to doors. Someone had deliberately tried to destroy something that belonged to her family's new home. She pulled out her phone and dialed the local fire department with shaking fingers. While waiting, the Ring camera installed just last week. Her father had insisted on the upgrade after feeling watched by unfriendly eyes. Maria rushed toward her phone application, praying the footage had captured something useful. Her fingers trembled as she scrolled backward through the recorded motion alerts overnight. Then she saw it. The fence around midnight. Her breath caught painfully in her throat as the image sharpened into clear focus. The unmistakable silhouette of Karen Whitfield appeared, holding something long and metallic. Maria's stomach twisted into a tight knot of disbelief and burning fury. She watched Karen pour liquid along the fence before quickly walking away. Her hands shook as she pressed pause, frozen by the horrifying clarity of betrayal. The fire department arrived minutes later, sirens cutting through the tense morning silence. Firefighters examined the scorched wood, confirming the fire had clearly been intentionally set. Maria explained, voice trembling, that her camera might have captured the actual culprit. A young firefighter knelt beside the fence, photographing burn patterns for official evidence. Tom Reyes hurried over, phone raised, for everyone's eyes. Other neighbors gathered nearby, whispering nervously while glancing toward Karen's pristine White House. Maria felt a strange mixture of terror, anger, inside her chest. She would not let this moment slip quietly into another ignored HOA complaint. Her father placed a steady hand on her shoulder. Eyes filled with quiet pride. He told her justice sometimes required patience. Courage. Irrefutable evidence. Maria nodded. Ring footage glowed on screen. She knew exactly what she needed to do before the sun set tonight. Maria spent the next hour replaying the footage, memorizing every chilling, damning second. She zoomed closer, confirming Karen's face beneath the dim glow of the street lamp. Her father suggested calling the police immediately instead of confronting Karen directly alone. Maria agreed, with her carefully controlled composure. She dialed the non-emergency line, requesting an officer review the security footage. Within 30 minutes, a patrol car rolled slowly into the quiet cul-de-sac. Officer Daniels stepped out, notepad ready, attentive and serious. Maria showed him the video, watching his eyebrows rise with visible surprise. He confirmed the timestamp matched perfectly with the fire department's official incident report. Officer Daniels explained that arson carried serious criminal penalties under state law. Maria felt a flicker of hope ignite within her exhausted, anxious heart. Meanwhile, about the shocking video evidence. Tom Reyes texted several neighbors, urging them to support Maria during this ordeal. Many families, long silenced by fear, suddenly found courage to speak openly. One neighbor admitted Karen had threatened her with fines after planting unapproved flowers. Another revealed Karen once towed a disabled veteran's car for parking violations unfairly. Maria realized she was not Karen's only victim within this tightly controlled community. Anger transformed into resolve as she decided to expose Karen's pattern publicly. She requested copies of every HOA notice ever issued against her family, reviewing them, suggesting Karen selectively enforced rules against newcomers. Her father reminded her that documentation would prove everything. Maria began organizing emails, photographs, a folder. She labeled it carefully, preparing for whatever confrontation lay ahead with Karen. That evening, at Maria's doorstep, feigning concern and sympathy, she offered condolences about the fire while glancing nervously toward the Ring camera. Maria studied her carefully, noticing subtle tension hidden beneath Karen's polished smile. Karen suggested the fire might have been accidental, perhaps caused by faulty wiring. Maria calmly replied that the footage clearly showed someone pouring liquid deliberately. Karen's smile faltered slightly, though she quickly masked it with practiced composure. She insisted Maria must be mistaken, blaming poor lighting and grainy camera quality. Maria simply stated the police already possessed a clear copy of the footage. Karen's confident posture stiffened visibly, her eyes darting nervously toward the street. She excused herself abruptly, walking briskly back toward her immaculate White House. Maria closed the door, exhaling slowly as relief mixed with lingering anxious tension. Her father praised her composure, calling it stronger than any angry confrontation could achieve. That night, replaying every detail of Karen's strange reaction, she wondered how many other families Karen had silenced through fear and intimidation. Tom Reyes called early the next morning, voice urgent and slightly breathless. He explained that several neighbors wanted to attend the upcoming HOA board meeting. They hoped to formally address Karen's abusive leadership in front of everyone. Maria agreed instantly. Recognizing this as the perfect opportunity for accountability and exposure, she prepared carefully, organizing evidence, footage, clear presentation. Her father insisted on attending, wearing his old uniform jacket with quiet pride. He told Maria that standing tall mattered more than simply winning quietly. Maria felt nervous energy building as the meeting date drew steadily closer. She knew Karen would not surrender power without a desperate, manipulative fight. Still, truth captured clearly by her 4K Ring camera. As evening approached, Maria printed every document, ready to confront injustice directly. She placed the folder beside her father's medals, symbols of resilience and honor. Tomorrow, finally witness Karen's true, hidden character exposed. The community center buzzed with tense whispers as neighbors filled every available seat. Karen sat confidently at the front table, gavel resting beside her perfectly folded notes. Maria entered with her father, clutching the folder containing months of damning evidence. Tom Reyes gave her a reassuring nod from his seat near the back. Karen began the meeting briskly, trying to control the agenda before complaints surfaced. Maria raised her hand immediately, requesting time to address a serious safety concern. Karen hesitated, masking irritation behind a forced, brittle smile toward the audience. She reluctantly granted Maria 3 minutes, expecting another minor noise or landscaping complaint. Maria stood and announced the fire deliberately set on her property. Gasps rippled through the room as she described pouring liquid captured on camera. She connected her laptop, projecting the clear Ring footage onto the large screen. Every face turned toward the unmistakable image of Karen near the burning fence. Karen's confident expression collapsed instantly into pale, visible panic before the crowd. She stammered excuses, claiming the footage was manipulated or taken completely out of context. Officer Daniels, seated discreetly nearby, stood and confirmed the video's verified authenticity. He explained the case had already been forwarded to the district attorney's office. Murmurs erupted as neighbors realized the severity of Karen's reckless criminal actions. One by one, sharing their own stories of unfair harassment. The disabled veteran described losing his towed car despite his clearly marked permit. Another woman recounted excessive fines issued for flowers planted along her own walkway. The crowd's sympathy shifted entirely away from Karen toward the visibly shaken victims. Karen attempted to regain control, banging her gavel against the wooden table desperately. No one listened anymore. Their trust in her authority completely and permanently shattered. The board's vice president stood, calling for an immediate vote of no confidence. Hands rose quickly across the room, overwhelming and unanimous in their clear decision. Karen's position as HOA president ended instantly, stripped away before stunned, watching eyes. Officer Daniels approached her calmly, requesting she accompany him for formal questioning downtown. Karen's face drained of color as reality finally crushed her crumbling false confidence. She glanced toward Maria, eyes pleading silently for sympathy that never came. Maria felt no satisfaction in cruelty, only quiet relief that justice finally arrived. Weeks later, charges alongside multiple harassment-related civil lawsuits. She was forced to sell her pristine White House, leaving the neighborhood entirely disgraced. The new HOA board, led by Tom Reyes, promised fairness and genuine transparency. Maria's father stood proudly beside her, finally feeling truly welcomed within their community. Neighbors who once stayed silent now greeted Maria warmly with smiles and gratitude. Her burned fence was rebuilt collectively, painted bright with colors chosen by everyone together. Maria realized courage sometimes simply means refusing to let injustice remain hidden anymore. The 4K Ring camera, once just a precaution, became the symbol of truth. It had captured darkness, yet ultimately illuminated a path toward lasting community justice. Maria often told her father that real power lies in standing firm together. Karen's downfall served as a lasting reminder that abused authority eventually collapses completely. For Maria, only about reclaiming her family's peace. Their little blue house finally felt like the safe home they once dreamed about.